Well, the royal family has been trying to boot the disgraced former Prince Andrew out of the royal lodge for months now. And today he finally packed his bags after being given the old heave-ho. It comes amid claims a second woman was allegedly trafficked for Andrew. In a statement to The Sun, police say they were aware of reports about a woman said to have been taken to an address in Windsor in 2010 for sexual purposes. And according to The Sun, the woman claims she spent the night with Andrew at Windsor when she was in her 20s before going to Buckingham Palace for tea. Andrew has always denied any wrongdoing relating to his links with Epstein and has never been charged with any offence. Joining me now is Talk TV host Mark Dolan. Mark, great to see you. Thank you so much for joining me. Gee, it gets worse and worse, doesn't it? The royal family must be ducking for cover right now.
You have to feel so sorry for King Charles, don't you, Danica? He waited decades to become king. He gets cancer. His youngest son runs off to America and wages war on the family. And then his younger brother, Andrew, brings total disgrace on the monarchy. I mean, this is the biggest crisis facing the monarchy in its history. You cannot exaggerate. You had the abdication of Edward. Well, that is literally a sideshow compared to this, because what have you got? You got sex, you got scandal, you got money, and even potentially a national security element, given the fact that Epstein was linked with the KGB and the Kremlin. So therefore, you have the possible scenario where the king's younger brother was Vladimir Putin's useful idiot.
Yeah, oh, look, I mean, perfectly said. And yeah, the family, I know you're at Buckingham Palace right now. They must be absolutely ducking and weaving for cover right now. No wonder they got rid of him. And look, it's not just Andrew. There are many prominent faces around the world getting caught up in this latest unfolding saga. There's emails uncovered by the US Department of Justice this week, including one from 2013 accusing American entrepreneur Bill Gates of contracting a sexually transmitted infection from the Russian girls and asking Epstein for help to give his wife antibiotics. I want to show our viewers this again. Bill Gates finally breaking his silence. Have a look.
It's factually true that I was only at dinners. You know, I never went to the island. I never met any women. And so, you know, the more that comes out, the more clear it'll be that although the time was a mistake, it had nothing to do with that kind of behavior.
Now, he denies those claims, Mark, but, gee, you've got to wonder what else is going to come out and who else is named.
Most definitely. And Bill Gates has denied these allegations, but he's listed multiple times in the Epstein files. It's very clear that he was friends with Epstein, and anyone that was is going to have a case to answer. And it's remarkable, isn't it? Because there's a lot of focus on Andrew, and I understand why. He is the younger brother of the king. But look at Bill Gates, a titan of American industry, one of the richest men in the world. You know, this crosses the realm of politics, of finance, of business, of tech. It's basically the elites that have been caught up in this. And in some ways, I wonder whether the focus on Andrew is because he's a member of the royal family. They don't tend to sue people. They don't tend to speak out or defend themselves. So he's like an easy target. Now, I won't defend his alleged activities, but it's clear there's more to this story than just Prince Andrew, former Prince Andrew, of course, now just Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor.
Yeah, absolutely. And I said this earlier, get your popcorn out because the Clintons are going to appear in front of US Congress. And I just wonder if Andrew will eventually have to go over. Wait and see on that one. Now, I've got to ask you about Peter Mandelson. He's stepped down from the House of Lords in the UK over his links. Now, it's important to note he denies any wrongdoing, Mark, but what are these allegations against him?
Well, that's right. Of course, not all of your viewers will necessarily know who the guy is, but he's one of the most significant political figures of the last few decades. He was the architect of Tony Blair's political project known as New Labour, and he's a very influential guy. It's an amazing thing because our current Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer, had nothing to do with Peter Mandelson. They came from a different political generation, but Starmer is so inept and is so good at bringing trouble on himself that he appointed Mandelson as UK ambassador to Washington after so much of this scandal had already come to light. So it's become a crisis for the incumbent UK PM. And the allegations are that Lord Mandelson and Epstein were very close, that thousands of dollars were pumped into Mandelson's account, which, Danica, he's actually forgotten. I don't know if I handed you $150,000, maybe you'd remember.
Yes.
But of course, it's escaped his attention. So there's also an incriminating photo. This is a guy, he was at the top of government, so fired twice from the UK cabinet. On one occasion, whilst the business secretary, he lobbied the government at that time to scrap a banker's bonus tax, allegedly to help Jeffrey Epstein. Plus, there's a photograph of Lord Mandelson in very tight underpants in a room with a woman wearing a bathrobe. The whole thing stinks. It's unedifying. It's just shocking. And it's managed to engulf number 10, which it needn't have done. But unfortunately, the poor judgment of Starmer, he decided that he'd give Mandelson this top job after it was clear that Mandelson had stayed in touch with Epstein after serving time for child sex trafficking. You couldn't make it up.
No, I mean, you can't make it up. This is a thing. It just gets worse and worse and, quite frankly, cringier and cringier. Seriously, it's all very icky, for lack of a better word. Look, finally, Mark, let's talk a bit of politics. It's been a decade since the Brexit referendum. Has this been for the benefit or the detriment of the country? What do you think?
Well, Brexit is what you make of it, just like life, Danica. And the bottom line is that we have our sovereignty now. We can control our borders. We're never going to have the euro. We control our currency. What's happened is that the political establishment hated Brexit because it was an example of people power. So they've done everything to thwart it, which is why we've gained no advantages so far. But a future administration, potentially led by Nigel Farage of Reform UK, will see Brexit unleashed. And here's the thing. I would say that nothing's happened since Brexit. I would argue we've not gained hugely. But look at Europe. It's a continent in decline. They've got open borders. They've got social division. They've got wokery in their public institutions, and their economy is in the toilet. So it's far better that Britain can look outwards and do trade deals with great countries like Australia, Canada, and the United States.
Absolutely. No, look, spot on. It's been fascinating to watch it unfold, I've got to say. Mark Dolan, great to catch up with you. Thank you so much for joining us this evening outside of Buckingham Palace.